Hi, I recently made a YouTube short explaining that I came across a hack for an easier way to play the modes on the guitar. And that short didn't have any graphics or didn't show me working on the fretboard at all. And so I wanted to make this video to kind of expand or give more information on what I'm talking about when I say I found a hack for playing the modes more easily. And this epiphany was kind of seeded by the idea that a lot of people who play the guitar already know that you can move back and forth from major pentatonic to minor pentatonic by doing the easy trick of just sliding your hand down 3 frets. So let's look at the images here, and let's say you want to play in C minor pentatonic. So this is the box 1 that most people are familiar with here. Now if you slide that down 3 frets, we're looking up here and you're just playing the C major pentatonic if you make that move. By the way, a little aside, these are screenshots from an app that I spend a lot of time staring at called Guitar Fretboard Scales and Chords. Highly recommend that. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. Yeah, so it's easy to move between minor and major pentatonic just by moving your hand down a few frets. And note that you're staying in the same key. You still have the same key center of C in this case. Now, what I realized is that really, in a sense, you're moving between modes by doing this, from the major mode to the minor mode. So if we look at the full major scale, this one in the upper left is the full major scale, also known as the Ionian mode, and all of these are in the key of C. So this box here is the one that most people learn in the beginning for the C major scale. And just take note of the pattern of notes on the fretboard. So it's 2 a half step apart, and then 1 a whole step apart, 2 a half step apart, 1 a whole step apart. Just make a visual note of that pattern. So one of the nice things about this app is that you can just switch the key and or the mode that you want to look at on the fretboard. So I kept the key the same, we'll stay in the key of C, but I wanted to look at the patterns in the different modes. So I switched to the Dorian mode, and I noticed that it's all the same pattern, just shifted on the neck. And I've watched a lot of videos and talked to people in person about instructors in person about the modes, and got information about the theory and have a basic understanding of the theory, but I've never heard it explained in just this way, and just this little slightly different way of explaining it somehow made it click a little bit better for me. All right, so when we switch from C Ionian to C Dorian, it's the same pattern, just shifted toward the headstock 2 frets. And as I bring you through this, make sure you're looking at the pattern of dots, not the note names. You can't move the notes on the guitar. The notes stay where they are on the neck. You can't change the position of a C on the neck. But if you're moving to a different mode, you're going to be changing the pattern that you would play for that mode. So anyway, I've highlighted a pattern in Ionian mode, and that same pattern exists in Dorian, 2 frets down. And similarly for Phrygian, you would just keep moving toward the headstock. And it actually moves down in the same pattern as the major scale in terms of whole steps and half steps. It goes whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Maybe not in that order depending on where you start from. But so to get from Ionian to Dorian, you go down 2 frets. And to get from Dorian to Phrygian, you go down 2 more frets. To go from Phrygian to Lydian, that's down 1 fret. And Lydian to Mixolydian, 2 frets. Mixolydian to Aeolian, 2 frets. And Aeolian to Locrian, 2 frets. So take that with a grain of salt. I see this not necessarily as a hack for understanding the theory of the modes, but it's a hack for playing the modes a little bit more easily. Let's say you're rocking out in the regular major scale and you want to give it a little Dorian Flare, just shift everything down 2 frets and play Dorian in the same key. That's it.